Hello, 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 and welcome to Walk, Talk, Health. As the name suggests, you and I are going to go on an amazing walk and we're going to talk health. Each one of these walks we take together can significantly improve your health, but if you combine the topics we discuss over a series of these walks, it can have a huge impact on your health, well-being, longevity, and help you live longer, healthier. What we're looking at here is a 15th century castle, parts of it actually dating back to the 11th century. So today we're at the Dorset coast, and in particular we're going to walk a trail that's a gem. Most of the people who visit don't even know this place exists, and it really is in places quite magical, especially some of the steps and the paths we're going to take down to a very stony natural beach. And we're going to discuss the benefits and the healing properties that happen while we sleep, and how we can use breath work to heal the body and help us sleep. A healthy human body needs to be at 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees C. But believe it or not, to get a good night's sleep, we actually need to reduce that temperature by a couple of degrees. We also need to reduce our heart rate by anywhere between 10 and 30%. The ideal room temperature to help us to lower our heart rate and to cool the body by a couple of degrees is actually 64 degrees Fahrenheit or 17.8 degrees Celsius. This is very important for a good night's sleep, and what we're going to discuss now is exactly why is that important. Well, while we're asleep, the body carries out all kinds of healing functions. For example, tissue repair and regeneration. If you cut yourself during the day, bruise yourself, tear ligaments, that kind of thing, while we sleep, the body repairs. Muscle growth and recovery. If you do light exercise during the day, like walking, then those muscles need to recover. If you have a workout during the day at the gym, where typically we're actually looking to damage the muscle fibers, right? We're looking to tear them, and then when they heal and repair themselves, they grow back basically bigger and stronger, and that's how we get muscle growth. Other things that it does is it basically boosts the immune system. So while we're sleeping, instead of using energy as we do during the day for things like moving around, even using our brains uses an awful lot of energy, the body is allowed to and utilizes 100% of the energy for immune function, for strengthening and repairing the immune system. This includes the microbiome that we discussed in the last video, those trillions of helpful microbes that help us break down foods to derive nutrients and generally are essential to life. In fact, we can't live without them. This part of the trail is going to take us to a 13th century ruin, which I'm told is definitely worth seeing. Let's find out for ourselves. So we made it to the top of the stairs, and there's not much of it left, but that is amazing to think that that was once a beautiful home and people had this incredible view when they woke up every morning. Wow. While we sleep, things like hormones are regulated. During the day, hormones such as cortisol spike, and while we sleep, our body gets the chance to rebalance all those hormones. And finally, we move on to possibly one of the most important functions that happens while we sleep, and that is detoxification and repair of the brain. A reason for that 64 degrees, 37 degrees centigrade room temperature is to allow the brain to shrink whilst we sleep. As a result of this, we do things like memory and learning for the day is consolidated. The brain decides what are those memories from the day it wants to remember and which one of those it wants to discard. Anything we feel that we've learnt during the day, that's when it kind of stores that away for future use. But more importantly, it actually activates the lymphatic system. Well, the lymphatic system actually is working all day, but at night it kicks into high gear. Here's some of the places you can walk to along the cliff tops and take in some truly spectacular views. The lymphatic system pumps cerebral spinal fluid from the spine into the brain to flush out toxins. It flushes out things like heavy metals. It flushes out things like plaque, amyloid plaques, and dead and senescent cells. If these are allowed to remain, it causes inflammation, which leads to some of the illnesses we've discussed in previous videos, such as Alzheimer's and dementia. So it's very important that these toxins are flushed from the brain. Actually, sleeping on our right side in bed helps this process, helps the drainage. It's also good for taking pressure off of the heart. And if we sleep on the left side, it actually helps with things like acid reflux and heartburn. So even which side and how we sleep is important to our health. Okay, we're down the steps now and onto this natural stone beach, and I have to say it's beautiful. And then when you get to the bottom, we are rewarded with just an amazing view. So as we can now see, sleep is vitally important for our overall good health and well-being. The question is, what can we do to improve our sleep? Well, we've already mentioned the temperature of the room and how that helps us lower our body temperature and our heart rate. But the next thing we need to consider is actually starting from the beginning and look at circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythms are our body's natural reaction to light. When in the morning the sun comes up, our body starts to produce a hormone called serotonin. It's the wake up hormone. When we go to bed, and the thing that we're interested in, it produces melatonin in direct response to the light dropping at the end of the day. So wherever possible, we want to try and go to bed when it gets dark, and we want to wake up with the light. That's what our body naturally wants to do. The other thing it's important to note regarding the time of bed we go to sleep is that most of the healing happens during what we call deep sleep. There are 3 stages of sleep. There's deep sleep, there's REM, rapid eye movement, that's when we dream, and then there's light sleep. Beautiful. Okay, we're about to climb this to get to the path at the top. There are easier ways to get there, but as we've gone down to the beach, this is the only way to get to them. So made it to the top, and again we're rewarded with just amazing views. It's the hours before midnight where the deep sleep occurs. So people who stay up late are potentially going to deprive themselves of that deep sleep, which is when most of the healing actually occurs. Other things we can do to help increase our chances of a good night's sleep and that all-important repair is to stop eating at least 3 hours before you go to bed. If you're going to consume a lot of red meats, because protein is far more difficult to break down, you probably want to make that 4 hours before you go to bed. Reason being that if your body is still digesting food when you finally put your head on your pillow, the metabolic rate is obviously elevated because it's trying to break down that food, and therefore your body temperature is higher, and so is your heart rate. And as we've already established, a cooler body, especially the brain, and a lower heart rate is vitally important for those repair processes to kick in. Another thing to avoid within about an hour of going to bed is TV screens, laptop screens, mobile phone screens. You hear a lot about it on the news and you think, really? But actually it's true. What those screens produce is light blue in colour, and the blueness, if you think about the sky that we're looking at now, which is beautiful, basically hampers the body ability to produce melatonin, and actually encourages it to produce the wake-up hormone of serotonin. And that's the last thing you want to happen just before you close your eyes and try and get that good night's sleep. So at the beginning I also mentioned breath work, and again I can see some of you rolling your eyes and going, yeah, new age hippie stuff. But actually breathing techniques have been used in ancient cultures such as India and China for thousands of years. And you have to ask your question, why would anyone keep teaching and passing on from generation to generation something that has no benefit on the human body or on our health whatsoever? So there's clearly something in it. Even the special forces use breath work, which we're going to cover in a minute, to help lower their heart rate, lower their stress levels before they go into an important operation, help them keep calmer and more collected in terms of their thinking. I'm just going to stop again for a second. Look at that. This is beautiful. So glad I did this walk. And so far I've not seen a single other person walking this trail, which tells you just how undiscovered or unknown to most people it really is. Wow, that sea air gets me every time. I don't know what it is about it, but you just fresh, I guess. Anyway, so what is this breathing technique? What can we do to help our general health and equally help us sleep? Well, it's pretty simple. There's plenty of these different breathing techniques out there. The one we're going to discuss today to help us with oxygenating the blood and the cells of our body and to help us get to sleep is as simple as this. You breathe in for the count of 4 through the nose. You hold it for 4. And then you breathe out for 6 or more through pursed lips. And then you repeat. What that does, as I've mentioned already, is it lowers the heart rate, therefore it lowers blood pressure, and it lowers the body temperature, and therefore allows you to get into that perfect state of sleep readiness. The other thing it does or achieves is oxygenation of the blood, and this is pretty important. So for our general health, we discussed last time the mitochondria. We explained that these organelles, they're not actually part of human cells, but we've had them for over 1 billion years in animals, are the powerhouse to every cell in our body. We've talked about the repair processes, etc., that go on overnight. Well, they need energy, but for the mitochondria to produce that energy, they need to combine ATP with oxygen. So by doing these breathing techniques, we're ensuring that we get oxygen to every cell in the body, and therefore they're able to produce that all-important ATP and produce the energy we need to heal our bodies whilst we sleep. It also nourishes the microbiome and ensures that oxygen reaches the brain. Okay, so let's recap what we've learnt today. So the first thing is we need to try and lower our body temperature a couple of degrees to get that important sleep. Drop our heart rate by 10 to 30%. We need to work with our natural circadian rhythms to produce that all-important melatonin to help us get off to sleep. We need to avoid blue lights, etc., that are going to do the opposite and start to produce serotonin and wake us up. We need to try and stop eating 3 hours at least before bed so that our system can calm down and we get that drop in temperature and heart rate. We need to do the sleep in the first place because we're looking to repair tissue damage, or we're looking to grow and repair muscle. We're looking to strengthen the immune system. We're looking to balance our hormones, and the all-important one, which is to detoxify the brain to prevent things like Alzheimer's, dementia, and to allow us to have that all-important recall of memory as we get older. And finally, little things like the position that we lay in. Right hand side for things like helping the brain after it's shrunk to drain those toxins and impurities from the brain, and help the heart, or sleeping on the left side to prevent acids coming up from the stomach and causing reflux and heartburn. I hope you found this walk and talk useful and enjoyed the scenery. I certainly have. It's been spectacular and amazing weather for the UK especially. Join me next time when we're going to discuss vitamin D3, and it's actually not a vitamin, it's a hormone, but it's crucial in our journey through health, and we get it naturally from the sun, and we also get it from taking supplements. So I'm going to ask a huge favour now. This channel is in no way monetized. Its sole purpose is to try and reach as many people as possible, share this information with them and help them with their health journey. So by asking you to like, comment, subscribe and share this video, at a minimum please hit the like. What that does is help it reach more people and help me to achieve that goal. Thank you in advance for doing it. During this walk I've mentioned my previous videos, specifically one on the microbiome. I'd encourage you to watch that one, and if you're interested to see how it gets to be improved whilst we sleep and what that actually does for overall health, I would encourage you to watch my previous video here.